Everyone, welcome back to Kirsty Colour & Sketch. My name's Kirsty. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing, and if you're returning, welcome back. So you might have seen me start this page on a colouring chat a couple of days ago. This is by Camilla Dericourt. It's Pop Manga Cute and Creepy, and I did just start this by putting a watercolour base over it all, and I was using the Arteza watercolour palette. Now I did mention in that video that I couldn't find this on Amazon, but I did manage to find it. So if you're interested in this set, I will link it down below. It's one I come to quite a lot. It's well loved, as you can see. It's not been cleaned but there we go, true artist palette right there. And that's what I did the background with. And then when I came away, sometimes I do this with colouring pages, halfway through, you know, I sort of get a mad idea. And my mad idea this time was that I'm going to put a little bit of shading into all the bandages that are actually on this little girl's body. I'm going to do her skin, and then the background I'm going to go in with some texture, because I was just looking at it and I was thinking, yeah, I could go in with some pencil detailing in and put some shading over the top, but I just felt like maybe it would still be a little flat, and I want to do something a bit out there and a bit different and experiment. Because if you watch my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that sometimes I just decide to do something, like click my fingers, decide to do something. It'll either turn out brilliant or it'll turn out absolutely atrocious. But you know, if you don't try, you don't find out. So I did find some old cloth. Now it's not actually a cloth, it's I have like a floor mop. Right, it's a floor mop, and this is one of the dry sheets that you can dry the floor with after you've mopped it. So I am deciding to use one of these. Now I have just tested if I can rip it into strips, and I can. And even if I struggle with that, I've got some scissors so I can sort of cut it into strips. But I was thinking of sticking some of these strips into the background, so we've got some texture on some of these bandages, and then I can paint over with acrylic paint. Now I've also got some Mod Podge that I can stick these down with, or I do have, I don't know how well these will work, I've got some glue dots as well. So we'll see as we go along. But it was just one of them mad crazy ideas. I thought, I'm just gonna do it. If it looks horrendous at the end of the day, then I know I've tried it, I know I won't do it again. So stay tuned, because this will be coming once I put the shading into this. The skin, I'm gonna give her a really purple, like a really, you know, red purple skin, because she is like mummified. She can have browny purple skin. So I'm going to do that really quickly, and then I'm going to smoosh it all together with my Caran d'Ache full blender, because that's the quickest way to do it. I want to get all the shading done quickly, then we can concentrate on having fun with the background. So I'm going to firstly go in with Polychromos Light Magenta. So I'm just going to go over all of her face with this pencil. Do we need to come in any further so you can see? I'll bring it in a little bit further while I do the face. Someone did comment that I need to zoom in more. I know I do. I'm horrific. I always forget. I need to zoom in more when I'm doing stuff so that you can see better. It's worse when I'm live streaming, because you know, you're getting too much focus on trying to reply to people and not looking at, you know, what people can actually see on the camera. So light layer of this everywhere. She's going to have a really purpley skin. I think some people are too scared to go out of the norm sometimes with colouring pages, like they're too scared to go away from what is natural. But on pages like this, you've got to, because it's all fantasy, isn't it? It's all fantasy. So I'm going to go in with a deep brown first. Where's that brown colour? So let's have a look. I think it was this one. Burnt Sienna 283. I'm going to go right into the shadows with this one. I'm not being careful. It is really dark. A really dark shade on here. And then I'm going to bring some really deep purpley pinks into this brown, sort of blending it in a bit. Bottom of the chin, we can go a bit darker. If you do hear children as I said in my last video, we are on half term, so you'll hear little voices. Hope you don't mind that. Well, it's a bit tough. It's a bit tough. That's my passive aggressiveness for the day. Is that the right word? Is that being passive aggressive? I don't know. Don't know. Bit underneath the bandages where we've got some shadowing, we'll put a bit more of this brown. So yeah, if you do want to colour along with this and you've got some old material you can use for the background and you want to give it a go, I'd love to see your finished pages. I would love to see them. But I will link the first video where I did the watercolour wash. I'll link that in the description of this video just in case you want to join in with that. But if you do colour along, don't pay too much attention to getting the background perfect, because obviously I didn't intend on putting this texture in on top, so the background obviously doesn't have to be perfect when we're going over the top of it with other things. A little bit of darkness here. But I will just mention again about Dee Dee's channel. I will actually link Dee Dee's channel in the description of my video as well, because she's the one who I've watched sort of, I don't watch her every week, but if something crops up, because she doesn't always do the colouring pages, sometimes she'll do collages or other things. She's very arty. But when the videos do crop up of her colouring in the colouring books or doing some sort of pet portrait, I do tend to watch those videos, and she's the one where I get my fearlessness from, where I'm not scared of trying things out. I got that from her because I've just watched her just do it. I've just watched her just do things and not be scared. Right, so I'm going to go in now with some of this. This is magenta 133, so this is the same colour as my nails. Magenta. So I'm going to bring some of this into the brown, so just a light covering of this around the cheek area. I'm going to bring it around the cheeks, possibly a little bit around the eyes as well. That's giving us some rouge, hasn't it? It's got some rouge going on there now. Rouge, 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 rouge. Yeah, a little bit over the eyes and round the eyes, because I think give her eyes a bit of a pop of pink. That, I'm trying to work out what that is just past the eye there. Is that a bandage? What I've missed, or is that part of her eye? I'm not sure, so I'm just going to go back in with that brown and I'm going to do it as a shadow instead. I'm going to do it as the edge of the face in a shadow and then go over it a little bit with this magenta. And then using the middle purple pink 125, I'm going to pop a little bit of pink on the end of her nose. A little bit of pinking on there. And a little bit around the cheeks. At the edge. Just to sort of blend it into the rest of the skin a little bit better. And that a little bit up there, I think, where I've missed in the corner. Near her eye. And then I'm going to blend it with the Caran d'Ache full blender. Now you can use whatever blender pencil you have available to you, but I like this one, especially for smooshing. If you just want all the colours to smoosh together easily, this blender is amazing. Amazing. Now the eye colour I'm not quite sure about yet, so I'm just going to leave the eye colour out and get on with the bandages on her head to start off with, and then we'll come back to the eyes once I've had a little think. Well, there we go, that's all the skin blended. I'm going to go in with the lips, so I'm going to go in with the, where is it, the lightest colour first, light magenta, 119. Put a little base over the lips. And then go in with the magenta 133 around the darkest areas. So where we've got the grayscale, I'm going to start going in with it, and I'm going to leave the highlight out. So this little highlight, there's 2 little dots there for highlights, don't go over them with the magenta. And go in between and round the edge, but we're going to leave the highlight in. Or you could go over it all and then just put your own highlights back in with a white gel pen. I mean, I always brighten these highlights up anyway with my white gel pen, but I do like to just leave it a bit brighter than the rest. Maybe go back in with the light magenta 119 just over the top of those or around them. And then I'm only going to do the white gel pen at the end, because I don't want to be sticking my hand in it. So next up, I'm going to put some shading into some of these bandages. And to do this, I'm going to use the Raw Umber 180. And all the grayscaled areas, I'm just going to go in on a sort of, probably a hard to medium pressure. And then as we get to the end of the grayscale, I'm going to go into a light pressure so that we're fading it out, we're blending it out into the rest of it. Well, I'm going to be really fast and really free with this. Don't be too particular. You know, that's the fun thing about doing a mixed media page. You don't have to be perfect. Just, you know, I forgot whose channel I saw that on. Just a little glimpse of it. And they said, you know, try and do things quickly because it stops your brain thinking too hard about what things should be. And just, you know, just do it. Just do it. Just throw yourself out there and do it. So I do try to do that sometimes. Sometimes it works out beautiful. Sometimes I think, what have you done, Kirsty? But again, if you don't try, you don't know, do you? So yeah. It's funny I'm colouring a spooky page because once I've finished with this, I'm going to play a game with the girls. Well, and my little boy. My little boy will love to play this game as well. In the local supermarket, when I was picking up all the Halloween decorations and stuff, there was a little game in there, and do you know the game Pin the Tail on the Donkey? It's based on that, but it's a spooky one, so it's all Halloween. It's Pin the, what is it? Let me have a quick look. Oh, Pin the Smile on the Pumpkin. Pin the smile on the pumpkin, so you've got the pumpkin and then you've got stickers and you have to try and get the sticker on the pumpkin. I thought they'll love that. So I thought that would be fun. It's cute, isn't it? Cute. I'm going to stick that on the door later, and I wonder if it's got a blindfold in there or if you have to find your own blindfold. I'll get some sort of little cloth to put around their eyes so they don't cheat. No cheating. They like cheating, my children, on games. What game did we play? Like, I'm trying to think what game we played last where there was cheating like nobody's business. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember for the life of me what it was. But yeah. I hope you're sticking around to the end for this anyway. It's going to get messy and fun on this background. As always as well, if you were following along, if you are colouring along and you're finding I'm doing this too fast, there is a little button on YouTube. I'm not sure whether it's on the left hand side or the right hand side. There is a little button where you can speed up or slow down YouTube videos. So if ever I'm doing something too fast or too slow, you can, you know, customize it to your own speed, your own speed. So don't worry, don't watch this video and think, oh, I'd love to colour along, but she's just going too fast for me. Because, you know, you can slow it down. You can slow it down. If you'd like to see me using the Tombow pencils as well, the next time I go live, when the kids go back to school, the next time I do a live stream, I will be using my Tombow Evogeton pencils in the Tim Jeffs intricate ink book. So if you're interested in seeing how those pencils are, just hit the bell, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the notifications, and then you'll get a notification when I'm planning on going live. Hopefully, I do tend to put reminders the night before over on my Instagram stories, so if you're not on Instagram, head on over there. It's fabulous Instagram. There's so many colourists over on there. I think there's possibly more than there is on YouTube over on Instagram. And there's some absolutely amazing people on Instagram that aren't on YouTube as well. Because I look at a lot and I think, gosh, you should have your own YouTube channel. You're absolutely fantastic. But of course, you know, some people have got other commitments or they're not confident enough to start a channel. Right, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit because I'm going to get to the head shortly and I don't want to. Sometimes I get carried away and I carry on colouring and then I realise I'm not in frame and then it's too late. So I'm being prepared this time, I'm being prepared. So I did buy my pumpkins the other day. 5 children, so I bought 5 pumpkins. It's a dear, £3 each they was. So I bought 5, what's that? I'm bad at maths. Bad at maths. But I've left them in the boot of my car. I've not brought them in the house because if I bring them in the house, they'll just mould them. They'll go bad before Halloween night. So they're in the boot of the car because it's, you know, it's dark and cold in the boot of the car, so they'll not go bad. We'll probably carve them in a couple of days, I think. Is it best to do them about 1 or 2 days before Halloween? Because then they won't. They tend to go really bad quickly, don't they? I know last time when I've had carved pumpkins in the house, they've not lasted 2 minutes before they've gone all squidgy and minging. Aren't they nasty though when they go off? Ugh. Some people put them in the garden, don't they? For the is it the squirrels what like them? But apparently you have to put them high up. Do you have to put them high up? Because pumpkins are bad for hedgehogs, is it? Is it hedgehogs that they're bad for? So you can't leave them on the ground. Did they say that? Or have I made it up? I don't know. Anyway. So I could put them in the garden, but I don't know where I'd put them, where they was off the floor sort of thing. I'm not quite sure. Right, I'm going to very quickly try and get this handle. It's a bit nitpicky. It's a bit nitpicky in between all these areas. I just want to get to the background, guys. I just want to slap all the glue on and make a right old mess. Make a right old mess. But I think once I've done it, I'll sort of stop the video, let it dry and then come back and show you the it dry. Because I think once it's all wet and a sticky mess, it might just look like a bit of a disaster. But who knows, who knows. But you see how you putting down that base, that initial base of watercolour has just set it, you know, it's made it easier. Because all I'm doing now is just putting this little bit of shading in. It's not taking me very long. It's probably taking me longer because I'm chatting at the same time. But if I was, you know, doing it in my own time, it had been done by now. It wouldn't have took me 2 minutes. It's so quick, so quick. Same with the background. Even if you didn't want to do the texture that I'm about to slap on in the background, even if you just wanted to shade some of the bandages, all you're doing is going into the grayscale areas of these bandages. It wouldn't take too long. I'm sorry, I'm at a weird angle at the minute, but it's just where I get into all these little areas. So I think this is the first proper spooky page I've done for Halloween. The others I've sort of disguised a little silhouette of a bat into pages here and there. I think this is probably the first cute and creepy page I've done. It's unusual for me really, because I normally get quite a lot done in October in this book, because I'm like, bam, favourite book, October, let's get it done, cute and creepy. But I think with the kids being off school all this week, I've just not had much time to colour. I mean, I'm filming now because they're all settled. They was sat down watching Tinkerbell and the Never Beast, and they was all cuddled up on the couch together. And I'll actually put a picture up here of them because it's so sweet. You know, my kids fight like cat and dog all day. They fight like cat and dog all day, and then you get these rare moments where they just sit and cuddle like that, and I think, oh. It's very rare, mind you, but it does happen occasionally. So they was all sat there watching that, all cuddled up nice, and I thought, no, I'll just take an opportunity for just get a bit of colouring done while they're being good, watching a movie, because it is absolutely chucking it down outside today. We can't go out anywhere. I was going to take them to the duck pond to give those ducks that feed, but it's just not stopped. It's relentless hammering it down. And the duck pond, it gets really, really muddy on there. Really, really muddy. So I'd just rather not. I would rather not. They'll be happy next week because we're going trick-or-treating. They love trick-or-treating. Going trick-or-treating, and then obviously I've booked, if you listen to my last colouring chat, I've booked a firework display event to take them to on the 6th. On the 6th of November. So yeah, we'll be doing lots of fun things next week. Because there's fairground rides on there as well. I'll have to make sure I've got plenty of money in my wallet. Oh, make sure Dad's got plenty of money in his wallet for all the rides. Because I don't think they're in no, I don't think they are. Definitely not included in the price of the firework display ticket. I think you have to pay for the rides separately. I have got a cold, and it's the worst thing. It's just so annoying. It's always my little boy what gives me colds. Like, he gets a sore throat and a cough, and then bam, I have it. Nobody else. He just passes it on to me all the time. I think it's because he's very clingy towards me, so he's always on me. He's always on me. Right, let's get this last bit down. Come on. I'm going in with quite a deep pressure up here just to get some really nice pigment down up here at the top. Bit there at the bottom. I was thinking as well, I bought some of the do you know what, at Halloween now you can buy the sprays to spray like blood splatters on your t-shirts if you're going trick-or-treating and that, or spray it on your arms or wherever. I was looking at that thinking, should I spray some of that on this page? But then I remembered it's double-sided and it goes straight through, and I don't want to ruin any pages in this book because I love them all. And it's one that I've said multiple times I'm going to complete this book, so I do not want to ruin any of my pages. I mean, there's a few pages where things have bled over, but they can be easily covered up by doing another fun background, like with your acrylic paints. Your acrylic paints are very good for covering up all sorts of things. You know, if you've just bled over with a bit of watercolour or something like that, if you put acrylic paint over that page when you come to it, then it's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. So I always say, don't panic. Don't panic if you've done that, because they can always be fixed. You might look at it and think, oh gosh, oh no, one of my favourite pages. But when you come to it, whack a bit of acrylic paint on. It's like it never happened. Like it never happened. Right. Let's get rid of that edge line. It's a bit better. Now normally when I come to this point on the pencil I would sharpen it, but because I'm just going in with hard pressure with all this shading, I'm not going to bother sharpening it. I'm going to leave it. I think people over sharpen pencils sometimes, me included. And sometimes you just don't need to. Like if I'm doing hair, if I'm colouring hair, then obviously I need a sharp point. Because for those hair strokes, you need to keep a sharp point. But something like this, I mean, this could be really blunt and I won't bother sharpening it because there's no need. You're going in with a really hard pressure, you just... No need wasting your core sharpening it when you don't need. Alright, top bit. Last but not least, top of here. I love this colour for some reason, this raw umber. It's really nice. It's a random pencil choice to say I really like this pencil, but I do. I like the green gold as well in the Faber-Castell Polychromos. The green gold is like similar to the goldenrod in the Prismacolor. That's what I would compare it to. Right, and that's it. Now, just very quickly, I'm going to whiz over this with the Caran d'Ache Full Blender just to make sure it is fully, nicely, all burnished, all blended. So it will just give it that little bit of extra. You don't have to be careful with this. It can be really sporadic. Is that the word? I come out with some words sometimes. I'm sure I'm not using them correctly, but there we go. And then other times I use words that I'm not quite sure, but I am correct, and then I think, gosh, you're clever. Blow me on trumpet. There we go, bit of it there. I love this Caran d'Ache Full Blender because it, rather than white everything down, it makes your colours pop instead when you use it. So you can see that's a lot more vibrant than down here because it just blends it all together nicely. It's super, I love it. I'm going to get some more, order some more actually. You can see it coming to life, can't you? It looks like a really nice honey colour as well, this. Like, it'd be really nice to do one of those bee pages with the, like, the honeycomb. Now, I've just realised that I'm wobbling my tripod like there's no tomorrow, but that's because I'm just going in very fast and very hard with this pencil to get it done. So if you feel a bit seasick, I apologise. I apologise now. My hand's in the way, I apologise. I've had to put my tripod over onto to the left hand side because the colouring page is on this side. So I'm being left handed, my hand is getting in the way a little bit sometimes. So although I like this new tripod, it is difficult for that. It is a bit difficult to move around. Right, I'm just going to fill the eyes in really quick. I'm just going to go for a brown I think. So with the Burnt Sienna 283, I'm going to go around the outside of the eyes. A bit lighter towards the bottom, so we're going dark on the top, really dark around the top and the edge at the top, and then lighter at the bottom. Same on the other eye, a bit lighter up on the bottom. Then I'm going to get a black. Now, if you've got the black in the Faber-Castell Polychromos set, that's brilliant, but mine is really, really tiny now, so I am using my Colour Soft black, but any black, just black for the centre of the eye. Oh, these do snap quite easily because they are really soft. As the name suggests, Derwent Colour Softs, they are soft. They are so soft. Oh dear, my nose. And then I'm going to go in over the top of the lashes. Probably should have brought you in a bit better. I'm going to do these lashes. I'm just going over the line art that's already there, just to deepen up the colours basically. Accentuate what's already there, that's what we're doing. and the bottom lashes as well. She's a very pretty mummy. Very pretty mummy. And the other eye as well. Now these eyelashes are getting lost a bit. They're a bit sketchy, so you just have to sort of try and follow it the best you can and draw them in a bit. Sometimes I'm a bit dramatic with lashes, as I did say in my last video. That's fine, we can be dramatic. Let's flip that one out there. That's it. And then I am going to put some highlights in with a gel pen. Any white gel pen will do. So just about where they already are, basically. So where you've already got the highlighted areas, just go over them. Just go over them. There's quite a lot of highlights in this eye. And you can put the lip ones in if you want to put the lip ones in, just to define them a little bit more. I've got that frog in my throat. There we go, now on to the fun. So I'm going to zoom us back out. Reasonable distance. I think we need to go further, don't we? Has that gone blurry now though, or are we alright? Are we alright? I've got this at a really weird angle. So now the fun part. So I'm getting a really old brush. So as you can see, this is battered. It's a really cheap brush off Amazon. It is slanted, but you don't need a slanted brush. I'm just basically using it because it's an old brush. And I'm going to get some Mod Podge and I'm going to rip this into shreds, and we're going to just stick it on in random areas over these. So let me firstly rip some of this into shreds. I might cut it so it's not as long. So they are quite long pieces at the moment. But this is so fun. I'm like, yeah. Let's get some shorter ones by. Oh no, I can't. That's a short one. It's a bit tricky to pull apart this actually. It's a bit tricky. But I want it to be raw rather than cutting it so it's exactly straight and all that. I want it to be quite raw, so it's, you know what I mean, don't you? Like, yeah. Not good at explaining things, but you know what I mean. So we've got quite a lot of pieces there, and I'm going to dot them around the page. How many have we got? 2, 3. Yeah, we'll sort of separate them so we've got some for one side, some for the other. They're obviously not going to be on every single bandage, but I'm just going to dot them around. So first off, I need to put my tape back here so I don't get it on there. So let's get this tape down here. Let's get some scrap paper underneath so we're not sticking anything to anything underneath. And let's get a brush stuck in our Mod Podge. So this is the Mod Podge I'm using, the matte. And I'm just going to stick my first one here. So I'm going to try and follow, not entirely, but I'm going to try and follow the shape of that. Put my brush down. So once we've stuck this down, I am going to go over with some acrylic paint. So just rip off the excess at the bottom. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So I'm going to stick some here. So that's overlapping that. I'm going to go over to this side now and just stick some here. This is so much fun, I cannot tell you. Ugh. Let me put my brush down while I rip this bit off. So much fun. You can sort of manipulate this as well. Don't be scared about putting glue on top as well. Because it's Mod Podge, it will dry clear. This is so cool. Right, I'm going to put some here on this one. Would anybody try anything like this in colouring pages, or are you scared to try things that you don't know, that you're not sure will work out? Do you have to test something out before you do it? Or will you just go for it? Will you just go crazy? Let's rip that bit off the end. If there's any strays, just get your scissors and cut them off. Like that. I'll probably do that at the end once it's all dry though, once it's all dry. Oh, this looks quite cool. I'm quite impressed with myself. Right, I'm going to even have one dangling over the top of her. So we've got something actually coming onto her face. So this one's going to be like just dangling down there like that. This might be a bit too long actually. We've got a shorter one. I can just rip it. I can just rip it. Let's try and... Oh. Rip it off at the end. I'll cut it off at the end actually, it's easier. Cut it off at the end. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now I need some in the bottom corner, don't I? I need something going on down here. So let's get some glue on down here. Like that. It's a bit too thick on the end. I'm going to cut some of this off. This is so cool. I'm going to have to put some sort of wax paper in between this page and this one so it doesn't stick together, but hopefully once it's all dry it'll be pretty much stuck in there and fine. But we'll tidy up all the edges as well, so there's nothing coming over the edges. Right, where else do we want? I kind of want another one coming over somewhere, so maybe around here. So maybe bring that one around here a bit. Bit over a finger a little bit. A nice thin one, so we'll put the thickest end at this over here. Try and turn it a little bit, turn it, and then just cut it off at the end there. That's pretty cool. Any more? Shall I put any more little ones anyway? What's it looking like on screen? I'm just gonna pop a bit of this there. I think here. I think a little one here. Sense my silence now. Concentrating face. Concentrating face. Now all this is going to have acrylic paint over it as well, so we're going to dirty these bandages up shortly. I'm just sticking down some of the areas that need sticking down a bit better. So all the edges we're going to Mod Podge down. Remember, it will dry clear, as long as you've not got the glitter version or anything like that going on down, unless you want some glitter on your page. You might want some glitter on your page, who knows? Let's bring you up here. And we Mod Podge this bit down. So once you've done this, you will be able to take a step back and just have a look if you want to place any anywhere else. I'm just concentrating on sticking the ends down, and then I'll have a little gander. I might put an extra one just down here. I'm going to cut that excess off there. I'm going to have fluff all over my desk shortly. Right, yeah, I'm going to put a little one down here. A little bit of something there. And squish it down, there we go. I'm not sure this is going to stick very well with it being folded over. I didn't realise that we're folded over. Might have to take it off and re-stick it a little bit. See where it's folded. Let's unfold it and stick it back down. That's better. There we go, we've created some lovely texture now. Now I'm going to give it a couple minutes to dry, and I'm going to get some black acrylic paint mixed in with some browns, and I'm going to paint over these bandages. I'm just going to tidy up some of the edges to make sure we've got nothing coming over the edge of the page too much. At the top here, just cut that bit off. There we go. Ah, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. It's just so much fun to do a page like this as well. It's so much fun. So I'm going to pop some black acrylic paint down and some browns. I think I'm just going to pop it in this palette here, and then I can clean it off at some point. Yeah, pop it in that one there. And I'm going to add some water to it, I think. Add a bit of water to it. Just to water it down a little bit. It'll be easier to spread, I think. Can you hear the frog in my throat? Oh my god. Oh my lordy. You can see why I don't come on a lot to do all my the most of my experimental pages because I go quiet. I go into my own zone. It's like I'm in my own little world now. In my own little world. So I've mixed the black now. I'm going to add some brown onto this side. It doesn't matter if it mixes in with this bit of watercolour. It might be better actually. Might be nice. And we'll wet that as well and water that down a little bit. Just so it's a bit looser to work with. Throw some more on there. And then the last colour I've pulled out is this Naples yellow. So if I put that there, I'm only going to put a little bit there. Now, because this water is quite mucky now, you can either go and change your water before wetting this colour down, or to me it doesn't matter because it's murky. We want it to be murky anyway. So it's probably going to mix it into this, yeah, like a murky, dirty bandage sort of colour that we want. And that's that one. So I'm going to get a bit of a bigger brush, I think. I don't want to use my really good watercolour brushes because I don't want them to get ruined. I don't think I've got a bigger brush actually. I think that's my biggest brush like this. So we'll just have to deal. I'm going to go in with this colour first. And let's do this top corner. And we're just going to randomly paint this over. Because it's going to be very messy and random. I don't know what else to say apart from random. Because that's what I'm doing. Random colours over these bandages. Random dirty colours. I'm going to add some browns and a little bit of black. Not too much black, because I think too much black on this page will be a bit too harsh. We do want a little bit, but not much. I'm going to go more for this and the browns. The brown colour, I think. Just to make them look dirty. If you feel like you've not added enough Mod Podge to stick these down at the end, once all your acrylic paint's dry, then you can go back in with the Mod Podge over the top. That's what I might end up doing. I'm going to mix some more of that paint, I think, unless I can make it spread up to these last little areas. Might be able to just. But if you've got a bigger brush than this, that's probably best. It's a bit small for what I want to work with this. Right, so I'm going to water this brown down even more, I think. A little bit more. I don't want it to go down really thick. Let's see, that might be alright. So I'm going to bring you up to the top again so we can see the top bit of the page. And we're going to add some big brown splats. This is so fun to do, I'm not gonna lie, so much fun to do. Let me try and pour a bit out. Watch this go everywhere. Oh, I do want a bit more water. That's better, that's better. Have it loose. Have it really loose. So I hope if you're colouring along, painting along, doing a bit of mixed media with me, I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope you're enjoying doing it, because I am. Although I'm quiet, it's because I'm just enthralled in what I'm doing. Really. Now moving on to the top bit. No, I'm just going to put a bit more there. Now I quite like that there is some areas where there's not, you know, brown over everything. So you've got these little white bits creeping through on some places. I am going to leave some of that in so that you can see that it's a bandage. If that makes sense. Get that bit of, put a bit of darkness there. I think, let me take a step back and have a look. Put a bit of dark there. I'm tweaking now, guys, tweaking. I think I'm kind of happy with that. What do you reckon? I know you can't speak to the screen and say, yeah, Kirsty, just put a bit more over there. Put a dab over there. I know you can't do that. Just talking to myself, aren't I? But there we go. That's sort of what we've got so far. And then, for a last thing with the black, I think instead of going in with the black on the bandages, I'm just going to do a black splatter. So this is the very last thing we're going to do to the page, and I'm going to splat it with the black. So this might get messy, but you've got your watered down acrylic here. I might need to water it down a bit more, and I'm going to do some black splats. So I'm just going to tap on the brush, and it will just, where should we start? Up here. It will just splat. If you just tap on top of it, we'll put these nice dramatic splodges in. I don't mind if it goes over the top of my lady. Add some more dramatic effect. Bit there. I think that is ace. I'm really happy with that page. Like I said, once it's all dry, if I feel like the edges are coming up a bit too much on all the strips we've put down, I will go over it with the Mod Podge. Make sure it's the matte one, it will dry clear and you'll have absolutely no problem there whatsoever. So let me move that out of the way. I can peel this off the opposite side. Take my paper from underneath there, and we can see the page a bit better. So what do you think about all the texture in there, guys? I love it. I've just loved doing it as well. I've loved doing it, every second of it. Now, like I say, you can tweak it as well. If you want to keep the bandages more clear, more white, you can do. You don't have to put as much brown as I've put down on the page. You could have just gone in with the first colour that I used on the bandages. So if you want to keep it quite light, you could just use the Naples yellow that I first put on. But I quite like that. I quite like that. So thank you so much to everyone. If you stayed till the end, thank you so much. Please do remember to hit the thumbs up on the way out. Drop me a comment down below. And subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.